What if I told you that you didn't have to struggle with prayer? Prayer is something that we hear in sermons or in teachings all the time, but a lot of us really struggle to connect with God through prayer. But it doesn't have to be that way. Hey, my name is Daniel Ogle. I'm the pastor of Westside Table Church here in Atlanta, and I'm so glad that you found our YouTube page. On our channel, we try to offer resources and wisdom and guidance to help you grow in your faith and connect with God and live into the purpose that God has for you. If you find this content helpful, if this video makes a difference in your life, we'd love for you to subscribe and so you can continue to receive the offerings here on our YouTube page. Prayer is something that I've heard a bunch of sermons on in my life. I bet you have too. A lot of people seem to talk about prayer. Often people say you really have to build a prayer life. But sometimes it's really hard to do that. A lot of people don't know where to start. A lot of people wonder what happens if I fall asleep or I get distracted during prayer. And so in this video, I want to give you a step-by-step guide how you can build a rhythm of prayer in your life that's going to make a difference for you. Everybody has a time when they pray best. For you, that might be in the morning, that might be on your lunch break, that might be before you go to bed at night. For me, morning prayer is when I am at my best, and that's my most reliable time of connecting with God. And so here's how I do it, and maybe this is helpful to you. The first thing I'd invite you to do is think about and maybe write down what are 3 things you're grateful for? What are 3 gifts that God has given you? And then what is your intention for the day? What do you hope to accomplish? How do you hope to grow in your faith that day? Maybe you have a big meeting that you want God to help you with and to make sure that your speech is calm and you're focused. But what is your intention for that day? And then I invite you to pick a passage of scripture, because prayer isn't just something that we come up with on our own. That prayer is related to how God reveals himself to us in scripture. So pick maybe a chapter of scripture and read that passage. And after you read that passage, maybe think about or reflect on, what did you learn? What were the insights that God gave you? And then what might that passage mean for your life? What I often do is I will write down people in my life that I'm praying for, that I feel called to intercede for. My family, my friends, people in my community, situations that I know are going on in the lives of people. And then finally, I'll conclude by writing down a prayer, beginning with these steps: addressing God, saying or writing down, what is something that God has done for me in my life? What are some of the attributes of God? And then asking God to move in a particular way in my life so that I can be who God has created me to be and participate in God's mission. Just a review: addressing God, making note of who God is and who God has been for me in my life, how I'm asking God to intercede for people in my life and in my community, and how I want to participate in what God is doing in the world to make a difference so I can love God and love my neighbor more. That's a simple rhythm of prayer that'll help you begin a pattern of faith that can make a real difference in your life. My name is Daniel Ogle. I'm the pastor of Westside Table. Thank you so much for joining us here on our YouTube page. If there's something you've learned or a particular question you have, we'd love for you to share that in the comments. And if you found this helpful, we'd love for you to subscribe and keep up with us here at Westside Table. Thanks so much for spending some time with us. Take care.